What's going on, y'all? So listen.
What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review. Listen, y'all probably like, how y'all get this video so quick? Listen, I don't know what Bravo over there doing at this point in time because they ain't never did nothing like this. But back in the day, they used to play the episodes like years ago. Okay, they used to play the episodes like of a Real Housewives earlier in the week, and then they'll play it on the the actual day, and they'll play it in the daytime. You know what I'm saying? Like around 12 o'clock or something like that, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. This time they uploaded it on the Bravo app. You probably will find the episode if you haven't watched it because it's about to expire off the Bravo app. If you haven't watched it yet, you could probably find somebody that uploaded it on YouTube because I also saw an episode on somebody had put it on YouTube. But this is the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 5, episode. That was 5 because my thumb was cut off. Episode 2, Rumor Mill. So we get into the episode and we're at Karen's new apartment. Oh no, new house. That wasn't being shady at all, okay? Now at this point in time, like, they keep on putting all this emphasis on the fact that this is Karen's new house. And I'm like, okay, we get it. But we hear this, ooh, I said, girl, we already know her and Ray ain't up in there doing nothing. Okay, we already know. I said she probably up in there working out or doing some stuff like that. And sure enough, or moving some stuff or whatever. That's exactly what she was doing. She was working out. Ray upstairs, she downstairs. He come down there trying to see what's going on or whatever. Um, you know, talk about all that exercising that you doing and sounds that you doing, it don't even need all that or whatever. That workout don't look that much or whatever. Okay, next thing she started talking about how she's trying to keep her body together for him and all this stuff, keep all of this snatch or whatever, since you won't say the 3 words. And I said, what 3 words? And then he was like, okay. And she was like, first of all, those are not 3 words, but all right. And he said, okay, okay, okay. I said, oh, Ray, what is going on? Just from that interaction right there before we got any deep into it, it's some dysfunction going on right about now between Karen and Ray. I don't know if they putting this up there like this or if it's real, but Ray seems very uninterested. And the 3 words that she talking about, because in the confessional she was saying, it's a shame that he can't really say I love you, baby. Like, I really just want to hear my man say I love you, baby. I said, Ray won't say I love you, girl. She offered to make him coffee. No. Do you need me to clean off glasses? No. I said, Ray, why you down there? Why you down there? Because you signed a contract that you got to film with her, whatever. Is that what it is? Ray totally seems uninterested. And when she said in the first episode that it was a disconnect, baby, it's a disconnect. And you can see that right off the bat. Ray, just to me, he looks tired. He looks tired. And I just hope everything is all to the good and they fix their stuff or whatever that's going on, because it's just, don't nobody need all that mess going on, all right? Moving on from there, we get Monique and Gizelle. They finally meet up, okay? And at this point, they're meeting up to have, offer olive branches to each other, figure out their issues with each other, which I think is very big of them because it's something that should have been done. It's probably been done, more than once in the past. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But if it has been done, it just hasn't had the same outcome as this one has. This one seems a little bit more mature, like a little bit. Dare I say that? Can I say that? They sound like they actually hearing each other. And, Monique, baby girl, you're trying to fix the situation, and then in the confessional you say if Gizelle will stop being a bottom behind trick or whatever. Come on. That's not helping it, because they're gonna play this back and it's gonna be used against you. Okay, stop that. We here for the shade or whatever, but we gotta watch what we say, especially when we trying to work with work situations out and all that stuff. And I know you just doing it just for the show and all that shit, but it just doesn't look right. But when you're trying to work out a situation and you still throwing shade at the girl, and so at the end of the day, they come to the conclusion that they've always had little bits and things right here. Nothing too big that'll cause them to be this big rift. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that they couldn't come back from. And so they burying the hatchet, actually sitting down there talking, and they said everything's going to be cool. Fine. Then they bring up the whole situation, what's going on with Ashley. Ashley is just going through it, okay? She mentioned in the first episode that, she checked off a lot of the boxes for postpartum, and she was putting up some posts that her post varies from different mood swings or whatever, and most of them she's been down in the dumps or whatever, and so they want to get her out the house and now to do something nice for her, and part of that is like throwing this little dinner, to get her out the house, and so um what's her name? Monique said we'll make it like little sandwiches, a little food that you can pick up and use your hands because we don't want no utensils, okay? Because the last time Ashley and Candace, because she want Candace to be there, she said the last time Ashley and Candace was there, Candace threatened to throw a fork, was it a knife or something at her? A butter knife at that, okay? She was about to slice some butter, bitch, and she don't want no drama, okay? She want them to able to come through if Candace come, sit down, apologize to Ashley. Everybody feels like Candace owes her an apology. To one extent, they both owe each other an apology, but Candace was doing the most, okay? Candace was doing the most. She was all up in that girl business for what reason last season? She didn't have none of her own. I do remember that, And of course, Gizelle is still up in her feelings about this whole situation with her house. Candace talking about her house, but Gizelle, you was talking about, her place as well. So anyway, so they trying to figure that out, and she was like, since that's your girl, you go over there and you talk to her and you see if she'll get on a good front, you know what I'm saying, and we'll see if we can come together and get this all to done. I said, hopefully, I don't think this meal gonna go well. I wanted to, but I just got a feeling like this season has already started off messy. They get into talking about why Charisse was there, okay? And remember last week they kept on saying Monique was like, and I forget. It took me watching Rock's review for yesterday's episode to remember that Charisse did bring Monique into the fold. You know what I'm saying? She was her good girlfriend. And now they had a falling out, okay, as we can see. And come to find out, Charisse was spreading rumors about, Monique and her family that was affecting her family. And, Gizelle was like, now I understand that if I'm throwing an event, I will bring Charisse because I'm good friends with her. How is it that Candace invited Charisse because we found out that Candace was the one that invited her? Why would she invite Charisse knowing that you were there and y'all not even close like that? Meaning that what is the connection between Candace and Charisse? You know what I'm saying? And of course, Monique had an issue with that when she found out that, Candace was the one that invited Charisse because we are on this new page and we're trying to start again. And you starting off on the wrong foot by putting me in a room with somebody that I can't stand or that's doing something malicious towards my family. And they, Gizelle had to give us the tea. She said the rumor was, I think it was a trainer, whatever, that Monique was getting a little bit too close to, that rumor has it that she was getting too close to, and she was being seen publicly out with him, and her husband, wasn't here for it and all that stuff. And Charisse was going around town just saying all of this shit about it, And I said, that sounds about right, like about Charisse. But she trying to figure that out. And so this dinner, girl, it's gonna, she got to talk to her about that. Candace got to talk to her, Ashley, about the whole thing. I don't think Candace gonna give her an apology. I really don't. Then we finally get to see Ashley. She's with baby Dean and she's waiting for the lactation coach to come. Because according to her, what she was saying was that she almost gave up breastfeeding. And she's going through a lot at this point. Like, this what happens. And a lot of people, and this is what I don't understand. Why isn't postpartum depression not really talked about the way that it needs to be? Because it's a lot of women, especially first-time mothers, that go through that situation where they become depressed after giving birth. Your body is going through a whole bunch of changes. Your hormones is just all over the place, and it has to readjust. And it's a lot. And she's going through that situation. Sometimes it affects the way that a woman can breastfeed a child, whether they can. Sometimes it's a situation where, there's absolutely something else that's going on that prevents them to breastfeed. And with Ashley, she said she had, what is it, metascosis or something. Anyway, it was an infection of her milk duct. Okay, milk ducts. And I said milk dud like the goddamn candy. Milk duds. And, she had to have the lactation coach come in and help her, get around that or whatever. She comes there once a month. And mama was just showing, girl, when she forced that baby head on the tip, I said, oh, okay. Okay. I said, don't suffocate him. But she said it feel a little better. I said, they gonna show it. Oh, all right. Sheila come there, Ashley mama, and they were just going over some things, and it was nice to see that Ashley does have the support that she needs to get through what she's going through. And that she's being vocal about it to the point, and they was even saying, like, you need to get her outside. You need to go outside. You need to go outside with Dean and everything. And she was just talking about her fears about doing all of that. She's just going through it at this point. But she will be all right eventually. Then we get this scene with Candace and the new girl, Wendy, okay? Candace and Wendy known each other for a long time, and Candace had to give us a rundown of Wendy's, her resume. She's a PhD, she's a professor, she's a political commentator, and I have seen Wendy on CNN before, and Fox News going back and forth or whatever, and yeah, mama know what she's talking about, okay? So I will give Wendy that right off the bat. Yeah, mama knows exactly what she's talking about, and she fresh out having a baby. They was talking about the Instagram video of her coming out the hospital, looking all did up or whatever, like she didn't even go in with the baby and came out with one. She looked nice, okay? And she was like, having a baby, they lie to you up in the movies, okay? They make it seem like, okay, the water breaks and you just go there and you just have the baby. No, the water broke. Get in the car, she's still leaking. Get at the hospital, she's still leaking and all this stuff. Girl, yes, it's an ordeal, okay? And so Candace wanted to know her thoughts on the party and everybody else that was there. And she said she was really, everybody was cool, and she really took to Karen and Monique, which was kind of funny because of Karen's situation of what she said about Wendy, okay, saying that she was not impressed. I want to know exactly what it is that rubs Karen raw about Wendy, okay? And Wendy even said, me and Karen, we known of each other, seen each other for the past 2 years, okay? We've done different events with each other, and each and every time we see each other, she always greets me as if this is her first time meeting me, okay? Like, girl, you didn't see me before. And she had the little picture from 2017 up there to show that too. And so she trying to see, but she still likes Karen. But she don't know that Karen got an issue with her for whatever reason, okay? And see, so far, I'm liking Wendy. She's not giving me anything that I can, be like, girl, what? She's not giving me no fever yet. And so, Candace was like, listen, I'm pretty sure that you might, surprisingly like Gizelle, okay? And it was like, you and Gizelle might get along and all this stuff. And it was like, she a shady monster. When it's a new girl coming into the group, she can throw shade and all that stuff and hazing. Wendy said, no, we're not going to do that hazing stuff because I can read you down. The professor will be in session, okay? Because I am a professor. School is in session. I said, all right, Miss Wendy, get Gizelle a run for her money. I'm here for that. And, Candace had to throw up in there. She got some D on deck, so maybe she'll be cool because she always, her mood is very. It goes by whether or not she got little D up in her life. Okay, when she don't, she a bitch. When she do, she more tolerable. Mind you, Monique said the same thing when she was talking about that early in her confessional. I said, damn, is it really like that? Y'all mood change depending on whether or not y'all got some sex up in your life, some consistent sex up in your life, or a bow in your life. Put it down in the comments. I'm nosy. Then we see Karen, and first of all, before we get to Karen and Candace, let's get into how shady the kids are. These kids will tell you and read your life, okay? Do not ask them nothing because they're going to tell you the honest truth. Monique is up in her house. She doing all the stuff for the kids, her oldest son helping out with Chase. Little Melania, whatever her name is, she's sitting down there on her little iPad or whatever, and Monique was like, dang, ain't nobody gonna ask me how my day is. The little girl said, no. And she was like, well, shit. She said, I just don't want to hear about that right now. I said, oops. Meanwhile, Robin trying to figure out what to wear, and the son said, don't put that on, because that looks terrible. No, I said don't put that on because it looks terrible. Move to the next. I said, these kids these days, okay? Meanwhile, like I said, Karen and Candace were out, at a bar or whatever, at a bar restaurant, eating and all this stuff, and they get Candace get a notification, a text message or something coming from Monique, inviting her to this dinner for Ashley that was hosted and put together by Monique and Gizelle. Now Karen and both of them was just like, what in the world is going on? Okay, we like to see how this is going to end. All right, so of course we gonna be there, all because they want to be some messy bitches, okay? And truth be told, Ashley would have did the same thing. Ashley would have did the same. Put all my stuff aside. I just want to see how y'all gonna interact with each other, because all of a sudden y'all cool. Y'all cool. Okay, cool. We gonna see. All right. Then we get Ashley. She's over there with her baby, of course. And she gets a phone call from Monique, and she was just saying, I hope you really come. She was like, girl, can I just bring the baby with me? She was like, no, girl. Okay, he gonna have to stay home, And she said extended the invitation also to the new girl, Wendy. She's a cool chick, so that's okay. Ashley had no problem with that. And then the whole situation with Candace, okay. And Ashley is like, she deserves an apology, okay. I should say she is owed an apology. That's how she feels. And at this point in time, I honestly, when I go into situations, I do expect apologies for some people, depending on what it is and how deep it is, because in a situation like this with Candace and Ashley, Candace did drag her, and was going hard on her, and I do feel like she owed a girl somewhat of she do owe her an apology. She does, okay, but there are certain situations that I'd be like, you know what? I'm not even finna sweat that. I don't even want to hear from you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to whatever. You ain't got to apologize. Just know that we ain't nothing. You ain't even got to say hello to me when you see me on the street, But Ashley, she wants her apology. She feels she deserves her apology. And the whole thing is, will Candace, because she wants to mend those fences. She seems like she wants to a little bit. That's what she was trying to relay to Karen. But we're going to see if she's able to do that and how sincere it's going to come off being if that happens. So Juan meets up with Gizelle because he wants to tell Gizelle, basically that he wants to propose finally to Robin again. He ready to do this thing again. They've been through the trenches or whatever. And of course, Gizelle is excited because Robin is her girl. She's known Juan for over 10 years or whatever. And she was like, have you got the ring or whatever? And he was like, no, not yet, but I'm thinking about, I'm figuring out which one I'm going to get. And she ain't going to say, whatever you got last time, double it. Juan said double it. I said double it. Gizelle, why ain't in the same situation that you in? Like, Pastor Jamal Bryant can probably easily afford to double whatever it is that he gave you, because that's what she said. If you talk to him, tell him, if you had the same conversation with him and he tell you something, you tell him to double the ring size, okay? No. Juan ain't financially stable like that. I said, did you not forget? Girl, that's why Juan was like, no. But, they've been together for like 24 years, and she was like, maybe you get 24 stones. And he was like, I like that. I said, Juan, where the money coming from? But okay, Robin flipping houses, you gonna take her money? Anyway, I don't even know. It's cute or whatever. They get into the whole situation about because Gizelle is so happy that Juan and Robin is stuck it out, and the fact that now Juan is commending and glad that Jamal and Gizelle is back together, and seeing how that works. And earlier in the conversation, Juan was saying how he wanted to be there for his boys, and so that's that atmosphere. Part of the reason why he stayed with Robin and they was living together, even though they was apart. Well, not technically together, they were divorced or whatever. And it gets onto the situation with Gizelle and her girls, and having to deal with the fact that the parents are getting back together, and they never seen the parents together, and so they're a little iffy on it. And like Juan said, Jamal got to make sure that he does not mess up, because they not gonna forgive him. He is gonna be, yes, it's gonna be a hard time for him to win them over, okay, if he messes up again, and so they dealing with that, and they just happy at the end of the day. Meanwhile, we get this thing with speaking of on the line of marriage, we go ahead into more baby talk. This episode should have been just about babies, okay? Called babies, baby talk, because when Candace was sitting down with Wendy, and Wendy was talking about her baby. Candace was talking about the fact that, whether or not she's ready to become a mother because of the way that she was brought up. And she was like, I know my mom did the best that she could. And a lot of people, especially, women going through that stage, whether or not they want to become a mom or whatever, they look at their experience or whatever and see whether or not they want their past trauma, if it was some, especially if they had it in their growing up in their childhood, they don't want to impart that on kids, so that plays into their decision whether or not to have kids or not, and that's part of what she's going through. But she also went in the bathroom, peed on a stick, and she came out and it wasn't nothing. She wasn't pregnant, and she was like, she feels like she probably almost there, because we remember, I don't think she was there yet. She said she didn't want to have kids yet or whatever. And so at this point in time, she was okay with the fact that, she said she would have been very much okay with the fact that the pregnancy test would have came out and said that she was pregnant. And so Chris was like, what, you trying to move the timeline up? It was like, are you ready for this? Chris said, I've been ready. It's just on you, okay? And so they get to talking about that. And he was like, I already knew they weren't going to come out, that you was pregnant, because we out here having decent sex. We barely having sex as it is. I said, hold up. Y'all only been married for a year and the sex stopped? She was like, you want to have sex in the morning. You don't want to have sex with me at night. Girl, he was like, ain't nobody got time for you talking about some, oh, I can't have sex like this. I need to be did up and all this stuff. And I just trying to give you, make you so that you can say we can have more than decent sex. And they played back the reunion when she said that they had decent sex. I said, you played that man when you said that. You supposed to hype your man up and leave that stuff in. If it ain't good, you don't tell the public that it ain't good. You tell the public that he is banging the shit out your back. Okay, that's what you supposed to say. And you deal with the rest of it in private. You know what I'm saying? That's what you was supposed to say. Because he said, I know what I'm doing. Okay, because you going to be saying that I be knocking that out. All right. I said, all right, Chris. So it's time for the party for Ashley, and we got Monique there first, and she's trying to do the placing, and then the placemats and the seating charts or whatever. Or wasn't Monique there first? No, it was Gizelle that was there first, okay? And then Monique showed up, and then they talking about whether or not to have a butter knife where Candace sit at and all this stuff. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, that's going to get tired at one point or another, okay? We get it. The girl had the knife. We get it. In the midst of this, Gizelle lets Monique in on a little bit of tea. She said she spoke to Ashley, but she's going to let Ashley fill her in on the rest if she needs to know something else. But she said that Ashley told her that when it comes to Charisse and Candace, when Monique was going through her issues with Candace, when they weren't getting along at that point in time, Candace made it a point to be close, or to get close enough to Monique, to Charisse, and buddy up and probably get some tea on Monique or whatever. And see, what I can't stand is, I can't stand when people do stuff like that. When I fall out with you, whatever, and you go over there and play goody-goody with my enemies and all that stuff, and then later on in the episode, girl, whatever, we'll get to it in a minute. But, Monique, she's feeling the type of way. Now she's feeling like everything is fake and phony. Like, I'm giving and giving and giving to this restart of this relationship, and all you're doing is receiving it. You're not giving out nothing to me. So now she feels some type of way about it, as she should, okay, to be quite honest. If that's how it's really going, that's how it's going, and that's how you will feel a way too, okay? And I feel like she needs to speak up. Not necessarily in this setting, but speak up. But of course, they probably will. But anyway, moving on from that, Karen shows up. You got Robin showing up. I said Robin is actually on time. Oh, okay. The one that was actually late that they was waiting on actually do show up, of course. And it was like, Candace is supposed to be here, so we're gonna sit over there and we're gonna just see how this goes. Okay, we got rid of the button eyes and everything. Candace do show up with Wendy, and they greet everybody. And I think Ashley and Candace actually hugged each other, so it was cool for the most part. And everything is going great. And they was like, of course, Wendy and what's her name, Ashley is going back and forth about when they had their babies, and the difference between the new mom. I think she said she had her baby July 6th, and Wendy had her baby July 20th, and so they're around the same age range, and the difference of, she really wanted to be at home with her baby now. And she was like, girl, yeah, you acting like the first time. This is a different between a mama of three. I'm ready to get out and ready to do what we got to do. Next thing you know, Ashley was like, and I might be because Monique said, is everything okay with everything, with that whole situation, with the mommy situation? She was like, yeah, but I think I might have to have surgery. And she was like, girl, what? Girl, on my butt, on my butthole. I said, hold up. What? What's going on? Girl, everybody was like, what you say? What you say? She was like, I probably might have to get some Botox or something on my anus because my whole anus is torn. Okay? He tore my anus. I said, oh. I feel for any woman who went through childbirth, and they baby ripped them. I do not want to feel that and imagine. Oh, no. Ashley don't like pain of any sort, okay? None that causes displeasure, okay? Let me clear that up. I don't like it, okay? And that seems like it is sting. It is sting like 100 times 10. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time for that. And everybody was just sitting there like, hold up. Do we need to talk about this right here at the table? We trying to eat and everything. So it kind of caught everybody off guard. But then to change the subject, Gizelle brings up, first of all, glad that everybody was there. And then Ashley brings up the fact that, she was like, how was the party? How was everybody in their denims and diamonds? And, Candace was saying to Robin that she was glad that, thanking her for having Juan show up, because outside of Chris, he was the only, boyfriend or husband that showed up. And so, Ashley was like, so yeah, how was it? Give me some playback. How was the party, the dinners and diamonds? And Monique was just like, I spent the night avoiding the wars. I said, hold up, come on, Monique. I get it, and we throw shades and shots, but I don't even like Charisse, but I ain't gonna come at the girl look like that, okay? I said, no, Monique, okay? They finna eat you up for saying some shit like that. But then again, they might not. But then again, they most likely will. I said, girl, okay. And here go Candace. I didn't know that y'all had issues like that. I didn't know y'all had issues like that. Even Gizelle was looking like, bitch, what you talking about? You knew. I said, girl, this don't make no sense. Candace, you playing with fire, baby. So when Monique said what she said, and then Candace was like, I didn't know y'all had that big of a beef or whatever, them issues. Monique was like, we'll talk. Okay. Now Candace is acting confused, like, so now you want to talk to me? Like, we got issues? Like, what's going on? But anyway, they shift the subject, asking Candace, did she go on honeymoon yet? Okay. And at this point, Candace said no. Girl, Monique said, I would have took the money that y'all spent on that goddamn wedding and went on the honeymoon and had sex with no condoms. And I said, exactly. All right. You spent $22,000 plus or whatever else, how much ever other expenses it was for that, on a 1 year anniversary. Now 1 year is cute. Now, baby, I'm going all out and spending all that money probably on 5, maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe 20. Okay. Every 5 years. Girl, 1 year, so we can spend all that money and probably be divorcing next year. Now, we going on a honeymoon. Okay, we gonna make the best of it. And that's what they were saying. You might as well fuck without no condoms. And then Wendy was like, girl, you still using condoms? What? And Candace was like, well, all y'all talking about the pull-out method and all this stuff. And Karen said something. I don't even know if Karen said something, but I think it was Wendy who said, Karen, you still having sex? It came out of nowhere, okay? But, they get over that whole little hump or whatever. Candace said they probably going to do something like in December or whatever. Fine. And so at this point, Gizelle want to take it upon herself to change the tone of the evening and put out there that, things have been said, and she feels as though, me and Monique, we've been talking, we feel as though you owe Ashley an apology, okay? And Candace was like, okay, cool, yeah, you're right, we can talk about that, but I would like to talk to you like one-on-one in public or private or whatever. And at this point, Ashley is like, you have to be willing to say and admit your faults and stuff like that. And she was like, okay, cool. But what I'm saying is, Candace's whole thing is she don't want to talk about it right then and right there. She don't want to talk about it in front of anybody else. Ashley, like, well, you already have a public, an audience and all this stuff. Karen feeling some type of way because she feels like they ganging up on Candace or whatever, because then Robin gets involved in it and start inserting her opinion about it, saying, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. And I can understand where Karen is coming from, but at the same time, Candace don't never want to. Candace, you did all this publicly. You did all this stuff in front of the girl, okay? In front of the group. So now all of a sudden you want to do it off to the side or whatever. I get it, but they do need to have a one-on-one. But it would have been cool if you would have just apologized right then and there, okay? Would have just put on your big girl panties and just went on ahead and apologized, or said something similar to an apology and said we'll talk further later at a different date, just one-on-one us, okay? That would have worked perfectly fine. And at this point, girl, and Candace felt like, is this a here for Ashley thing or a bash Candace thing? And basically said, fuck all y'all, okay? And told them to shut the fuck up. I was just like, oh, all right. And it said to be continued. But that was the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 5, episode 2. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. I'll see y'all later. Peace.